guys, Anthony here. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video on car sales training, we're going to talk about the three individual components of car sales and any sales for that matter that I feel are equally important. But when they come together and they mesh together, the magic of a sale happens. Those three components are right here: science, art, and math. Science, art, and math. You can see on this Venn diagram here how they kind of interlap. I feel like all three of those components, science, art, and math, are equally as important, and I feel like they all play a role in the coming of a deal, no matter what you're selling. So let's talk about let's talk about science, okay? So how is sales science? Well, there's so many different components, from the psychology of selling, the human need for physiological connection that people have, right? We're tribal beings. It's built into our DNA, right? We've evolved to be part of a tribe, to be part of a camp, to feel included, to feel heard, to feel wanted. And, now more than ever, I feel like people understand that their voice is important. I feel like people seek out a podium or a platform to speak about how they feel. So now more than ever, the ability to feel heard, the empathy that's required when selling is super important. And that's science. That connection, I think, means more now than ever. I think back in the day, maybe even 10, 20, 30 years ago, that was discounted. But I think it was almost hocus pocus kind of stuff. But now it's super important. The science of selling, the ability to persuade, the laws and the principles of persuasion and reciprocity, that's all science, right? That's all science. The mindset of the buyer, the mindset of you as the salesperson, all of that is science. And in future videos, we're going to talk about some really cool case studies that break down the psychology of the interaction. But sales is a science. It's humans. It's two people having a conversation. I break it down to the most basic form. I tell all of my salespeople, at the end of the day, it's just two people having a conversation. Two people looking to exchange their beliefs and ideas, to be heard, to be understood, and there is a component of that tribalism present right there. We're both looking to play a part in the making of the deal, and human beings as a whole are very codependent. We want other people to like us. Salespeople want the customer to like them, and the customer wants you to approve as them as well. There's a lot of science that goes into it. That's one component, but sales is a science. It is a science, but those other two components, the art and the math, play an equal part. The art of selling, right? The ability to persuade, the way that you present yourself, your disposition, your words, your tonality, your body language, all of that is art. You're performing, right? You're performing. I'm going to get into an awesome story that I was taught back when I started selling cars in future videos, how it really exemplifies the art form of selling. It's really interesting. I think you guys are going to love it. That's a future video. I'll give you a sneak peek. We'll call it the Snow White video. You're going to love it. It's really cool. It involves the Disney character. It's awesome. It's awesome. But day in and day out, we are performing. This is our art form. The way we carry ourselves, the way we move around the showroom, the way we pull out the chair for the customer, it's everything about it is an art. And we're going to dive into that deep in future videos and how to really hone our craft and become top performers at our art. This is our art, right? So sales is a science, right? Everything going on up here, in here, this is all science, right? The way we connect to other people, the psychology of it. The art form is how we pull that off, right? How we behave day in and day out, and how we use our art form to accomplish that end goal, not just for you, but for the customer as well. And the magic happens when the end goal for you and the customer are the same. So we have science, we have art, and then we have the math, right? So what's the math? I know you guys have probably heard the old adage, right? Let's take a baseball player, right? Baseball player. If you bat 300, meaning if you get a hit 3 out of 10 at bats, so 3 out of every of your 10 at bats, you get a base hit, you're probably going to be in the Hall of Fame. That's the benchmark, a 300 hitter. That's what a 300 hitter is. But in theory, that would then mean, and in reality, you'd have to fail 7 out of 10 times, right? That's the math of it. But baseball players, here's where the psychology and the science kicks in and integrates with the math. Baseball players don't go up to bat saying to themselves, okay, I'm most likely going to strike out right now. There's a 70% chance I'm not going to get a base hit. I'm going to fail at what I'm doing. They don't do that. They understand the math. They know what it represents. They treat every single customer like they're a deal, and that this is going to be one of those 3 out of 10 base hits. Now, in sales, you control what that percentage is, right? You control that math. You control whether, let's just say hypothetically, your internet department, your internet sales department, a rule of thumb is maybe for every 100 leads that you get, 50 of those people you're going to set an appointment with to come into your store, and then 25 of those people will actually show on the first visit, and then you'll sell half of those, which is 12 and a half deals, right? That might be your math. Or for every 100 phone calls you make, you might reach 10 people and you might sell 3 cars. Or it depends. It depends on what, obviously your level of skill, and it also depends on the quality of the lead. And most importantly, I think the ultimate X factor is how seriously you take your business, right? Whether you treat it as a job or a career. We're going to talk about that in future videos. Big difference, but the math of it, it's all math. Don't let the math affect you and your ability to perform the next at bat, right? If you're the baseball player and you strike out, you don't go up to the next at bat expecting to strike out, right? Football player, let's say your completion percentage is 70%. You're the best quarterback in the world. If you throw an incomplete pass, you don't expect the next one to be an incomplete pass. So you can't allow the math to affect the science, which is the psychology, and your ability to keep your emotional intelligence. Another video we're going to dive into down the line, future car sales training videos, emotional intelligence. That one's going to be great. You're going to love that too. Super important. Super important to make sure your customers' emotional intelligence is at a level you need it to be as well. A nice, comfortable baseline. But sales, going back to the Venn diagram, 3 components: science, math, and art. All 3 are equally as important. They all play a very important role. And once you master all 3 of those, that's when the magic happens. And listen, the science part of it, in one particular situation, you may only have to, hit it at 70%, right? It may be, that part may be locked in. The math might be harder to be able to overcome because you're saying to yourself, wow, I just had 5 customers, all 5 weren't deals. What do I do now? I'm going to teach you how to make sure that doesn't happen, how you don't go in those slumps. And I'm also going to teach you how, when you do hit a little rough patch in your career, because this is sales, it will come, it'll ebb and flow, right? How to make sure the drop down isn't too low and how to maximize the highs. I hope you enjoyed this video on the 3 components of selling: science, art, and math, how they all mesh and come together, and I'll see you soon. Hey, my friend, thank you for watching, and if you want to see videos just like this one, please like and subscribe to our channel. We really appreciate the love and support. And don't forget, leave some comments down below. I'm looking forward to all of your interaction and feedback, and I can't wait to bring you more videos just like this one. Thanks again. I'll talk to you soon.